actually never thought I'd see the day where I change camera systems and try out something different other than Sony, as I've been shooting Sony for the longest of time, since maybe 2017. I've just been shooting strictly Sony. Well, all of that has now changed. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I'm feeling good. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Brandon and I still make videos. In today's video, it's a hectic one. Let's get into it. Some of you might remember my last YouTube upload was titled Dear Sony, where I was addressing a couple of the shortcomings that we've been having with the Sony a7S III and also what we were looking forward to the Sony a7S IV. Now, a couple of people recommended in the comment section that we check out the Panasonic Lumix S5X Mark II, but we don't get those cameras in South Africa. Now, what that meant was we had to explore other options. Our top option was something that not many people recommended down below in the comment section. However, it's a camera that we've been keeping our eye on for quite a while since it launched in 2024. What camera are you talking about, Brandon? Well, the wait is over. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. The Nikon Z6 Mark III. Okay, let's get into the box. Let's see what's inside. Okay, straight into the box. Actually, is it Nikon or Nikon? Those who know the correct spelling, please let me know down below in the comment section. But first up, it's just a bunch of paperwork, USB-C cable and some clamps. Put that aside. Trusted Nikon strap. You know, probably won't use this, but it's good to have. A Nikon battery. Okay, this is cool. And the star of the show. Ach! 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 Oof. Oh my days. Yo, what a beautiful camera. Look at that. Yo. The build quality is so delicious. It just looks... Also, this is my first time interacting with this camera. There aren't any shops locally that can rent it out to you. So, this is it. Like, this is my first time experiencing this camera. I haven't had a chance to rent it out. I haven't had a chance to do anything else before this interaction with it. So, I'm excited. Wow. Look at the screen. Oh my days. All I know about this camera is from specs. All I know about this camera is from other YouTubers who've said other things, who've sang many praises about this camera. So, I mean, obviously we had to get in on the action. Oof. Okay. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a charger in here. Yeah, this is it, eh? This is it. There's no charger. I'm assuming the USB-C cable is the only charger that's in here, which is a bit of a bummer. Like, for someone like myself who's like, this is the first time I'm entering the Nikon brand and I don't have a charging block. It's a bit of a letdown. I guess to Amazon we go. That sucks. Okay, let's put this away. You're probably wondering why we even bought this camera in the first place, seeing as we are a mainly Sony powered production house. The 6K RAW coupled with Nikon's acquisition of RED will obviously allow more RED features to trickle down into the Nikon system. Now, they've already started with the RED LUTs that have come on down onto this camera, but unfortunately at this point in time, I think they're not quite where we would like them to be. One added feature that we really hope to see coming down to this camera is the ability to load your own LUTs. You see, even an entry-level Sony camera, the Sony FX30, allows you to add your own custom LUTs, and we would really like to see that feature coming down onto this 50,000 Rand piece of gear. As people who've been mainly shooting Sony for the longest of time, the bar is set really high for this camera to achieve a similar or even better picture quality. One accessory that we've picked up with this camera is the Megadap adapter. What this does is it allows us to connect all of our E-mount glass onto the Nikon Z mount system without having to break the bank and buying a completely new set of lenses, which is, hey, let me tell you something. It is quite an expensive exercise to get into. So what this will do is it'll allow us to connect all of our existing glass into this new system. This is what it looks like. We picked this up on Amazon. I don't think you can get one in South Africa, but we got this delivered. It was quite quick actually, but yeah, it's just a piece of tech just like that. Also, you have full autofocus controls, full aperture controls. It's like you've attached a Nikon lens onto the camera, so they say. So with our test footage, we'll also be putting this to the test. Speaking of test footage, let's cut to the Nikon in 3, 2, 1. And with that, welcome to the Nikon Z6 III footage. Let me know how you feel this looks, based off of the lighting that we have in this controlled environment. But without further ado, let's go outside and get some actual in-field test footage that we can then come back and take a look at and see whether or not we've made a 50,000 Rand mistake. Aspange. Okay, we are back. Let us take a look at some of this footage and photos and see keep up on my what. Looking at the footage, I've got a few issues with it. The first one is that the Nikon conversion LUT that they have on their website is not good at all. You see, it just doesn't get the footage looking as Rec 709 as we would like it to. Speaking of the conversion LUT, the built-in gamma assist display is not quite good. It tends to just bring up the exposure of everything, then you'll end up underexposing your N-Log footage, and then you're gonna have a lot more grain to worry about in post. Now, since you have to sort of underexpose just so the gamma assist display is looking a bit normal, you now introduce a bluish tint towards your blacks and your shadows, which is not great at all. Especially if you're shooting in environments where the lighting is fluctuating, you will definitely experience some of that bluish, purplish tint in your darkish areas in the image, which I personally don't like, especially because coming from the Sony ecosystem, where if you put the conversion LUT, everything will 9 times out of 10 come out as clean as possible. But surely this is something we can find a workaround for in our post-production processes. Sticking with the color point, shooting in N-Log and in not so well exposed areas, you get a lot of noise. How to combat that? You would now start shooting in the standard picture profile, which is great because it has a built-in noise reduction algorithm into it, which then counters all the other issues that we face with the bluish tint when we're shooting in N-Log in not so well exposed environments. However, maybe there's a way for you to expose, for you to avoid all of these other problems. Bear in mind, I'm just a newbie, I'm a beginner in this Nikon ecosystem, and with time, we'll probably find out other ways to get it looking the way that we want to. If you have a way though, please let me know in the comment section down below. I really would like to get this camera performing to its very best capabilities. The last issue that I've noted so far during my limited use of this camera is you can't actively expose with your shutter and your aperture. Because when you're turning those dials, the image just goes ga, ga, ga. Now, as you can see, that does not look great. Whereas with our other ecosystem, everything just works perfectly and you're able to expose on the go should you not have access to an ND filter at that point. So maybe there's a way for Nikon to find a way around this in a later software update. Now, let's get into the things that I've actually enjoyed about this camera. The first one being a different menu and settings whenever you switch between your photo and video modes. What that means for us as hybrid shooters, you can quickly switch from taking photos, boom, quickly into a reel, and your settings that you've set up to shoot video stay the same, When you switch back to photo, the settings that you've set previously for that are still the same. This is going to save us a lot of time in the future, because previously with the Sony system, we'd have to go switch off log, get it into a standard picture profile, take the photos. When you're done with taking the photos, switch it back to the S log, take your video. It was just a tedious process. And I'm hopeful that with this menu system, it'll speed up our workflow when we're out in the field. Can we talk about just how beautiful the 6K footage is? My word, it is so crispy, and it'll allow us to frame for so many different aspect ratios that we usually have to deliver when we shoot in 16:9. I love just how crispy and sharp and detailed the footage from this camera looks, and yeah, it's definitely a step above. Is it? Yes, it is. Not only is the video great, but the photos too are so excellent and so easy to work with in Lightroom, in Capture One, and we're able to pull in as much detail, contrast, and quality into those images. And wow, I must say, coming from a 12 megapixel sensor going all the way up to a 24, the difference is night and day for us. I also really love how nice and sturdy this screen is. And the cherry on top is how it can rotate without disturbing the audio ports, which was an issue for us where we come from. But this, phenomenal. I also really love how when you rotate the camera into portrait mode, the displayed information rotates also with the screen. However, when you do that and you're recording video, the video doesn't get processed in portrait. It still comes out as a 16:9 that is like this way. Then you're gonna have to just rotate it up and put it up this way. It's a bit of a gripe, but you know, I can get over it. Nikon, if you can address this with the software update, that would be phenomenal. All in all, the gripes that I have with this camera are things that they could easily fix with the software update. And I hope that they get to watch this video, and I hope they get to implement them without us having to wait for a Z6 Mark IV. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on post notifications so you know when the next video comes out. Let's also interact in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on this camera and if you'll be picking up one for yourself. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Sure.